Hello, this is Sheshathalam from AstroGuide Mysore, and today we are discussing a subject where I am going to put some 2 or 3 live cases to understand why is this eighth lord such a hindrance. And here the topic today is unexplained infertility. So that means obviously I'll be touching the point of progeny. I'll be touching the fifth house. I'll be, Jupiter is a concerned planet for us. So how come even if a planet being the eighth lord is a benefic like moon, like Mercury, like Venus, how come that these planets also can give some difficulties? Let us understand this. So, because what we have understood from all the studies so many years that we think that, oh, okay, Venus is placed in the fifth house. Oh, very good. No, it's not that. If Venus is the eighth lord and placed in the fifth house, even a good Venus will cause trouble there. And let us understand how it actually happens. So, if slow moving planets like Jupiter and Saturn get associated with the fifth house, and if they are the eighth lord, the impact is huge. Particularly Saturn, the impact is very, very high. And the impact slowly gets lifted off when until it comes to a certain planet that is like Venus. So malefic planets like Mars, like Saturn is also natural malefic, but still Saturn is included in that you know dreaded eighth lord. You know, it's not a myth; it is reality because we have checked a lot of charts. So Mars is not such a planet which, though being the eighth lord, will cause so much problem for progeny. But still, let us understand why this problem of unexplained infertility is causing so much of difficulty to couples. And, year after year, after session, they keep visiting the doctor, spending so much money. So let us understand that. So let me take an example here and I'll keep explaining why it's happening. So here the example is I am taking the ascendant of Mithuna, that is Gemini ascendant. I'll put it here also. Let us take it as Gemini, and we have Venus beautifully posited here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have Venus very nicely positioned in its own sign. Gemini, then we have Cancer, then we have Leo, we have Virgo, and this is Libra. And with this, let us now see what is actually happening. The eighth lord here is Saturn. So I have put a Saturn here. So let us put this Saturn. I have put retrograde Saturn because it is Nicha Vakra Shani, the eighth lord, which is actually debilitated and retrograde. So it is directly aspecting Venus. Yes, there is a problem. This particular native had lot of problems in having children. Okay, it does not have to be a male chart or a female chart. It will impact the native. So it took a lot number of years for this person to have a child with a lot of medical treatment, continuous treatment. So let us go to another chart. You can understand the eighth lord, how it is causing a simple aspect of the eighth lord is causing so much of problem. So I'll just pause this and then I'll put another chart. So back to the second example. So I have taken another ascendant where this is the ascendant. Let us take this as the ascendant. That is Scorpio. So what is the number of Scorpio? Scorpio is 8. So the fifth house falls in Pisces. I am directly putting a planet retro Saturn. Because you should see my video on Dattaputra Yoga, or why does Saturn cause adoption. You'll understand why I'm putting it there. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's Saturn again. So this is the fifth house always in the North Indian chart. And we have Sun, Venus, and Mercury. Sun debilitated, Venus debilitated, and Mercury is exalted. So, with this, we can see that there is a strong aspect of Saturn over the Andashaya, that is the ovaries, which is represented by Venus. So, let me also enter it here. So, we have the 12th house with Sun and the 11th with Venus and Mercury. This is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Correct. Yeah. So, there is a Nicha Bhanga Raja Yoga. So, people are like, oh, Nicha Bhanga has happened, so it has to work. It will work. It will give marriage because Venus is the seventh lord. But still here, Mercury is a Napamsaka. What is Napamsaka? Is a eunuch. Eunuch. So it does not have the strength to make a planet, activate a house or influence a planet to, assist or support conceiving or procreation. So, this is a negative actually. So, we have two planets which are nearly hit. That is Saturn, which is also the same, and it is retrograde. So, in this example also, the native did not have children. They did not have children at all. So, let me go to example number 3. Okay, this is an example once again involving Jupiter in the 12th house. So, I have taken the ascendant of Leo. I have taken Jupiter, which is retrograde, and Sun combust, and we have a very strong Saturn in the 6th house. And you should understand, Saturn, when it is the 6th lord in the 6th house, gives rise to a very strong Viparita Raja Yoga. So, here, Jupiter is the 5th lord. I am attaching the 5th lord, or the 5th house. Last time we had attached the 5th house from this ascendant. Here we are now attacking the 5th lord, which is actually Ucha Vakra Guru. That means it is exalted and retrograde. It cannot be exalted and retrograde along with Sun. So that is a mistake. So then we leave with the retrogression and take the Sun here. Actually, it is a combust. It is combust Jupiter. It was not retrograde. By mistake, I was continuously writing retrogression everywhere, so I entered retrogression there. So it's a combust Jupiter. So let me enter it in the North Indian style. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is Leo, and here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have Saturn, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Correct. Capricorn, that's the 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have Jupiter and Sun here, and it is combust. Within 2 or 3 degrees, very closely posited, and Jupiter's combust. Putra Karaka, Jupiter, is combust along with Sun, and it is in the 12th house, which is in the Vyayasthana. We call it as Vyayasthana. What is Vyayasthana? The house of loss. So Putra Karaka is in the house of loss along with the Lagnadipati. Maybe this person has gone abroad and stayed there, but this is an arbitrary case. It is not the real case. But anyway, just to explain how the Putra Karaka, when it is exalted and combust, not retrograde, as I said earlier, it is exalted and combust, and we have Saturn in the seventh from it. When you see the seventh, you should see that the orb of influence is also hitting it. So that means if it is something like, let us say this is 6 to 10 degrees, within 6 to 10 degrees, and this also has to be between 10 to 3 to 15 degrees within that, because there has to be an orb of influence over that. It cannot be, Saturn cannot be at 29 degrees and these fellows cannot be at 1 degree. So it doesn't have the drishti aspect. The strong negative aspectual strength of Saturn can cause this problem. There are many positive things here, because people always write to me that why are you explaining so much negative? When I'm explaining the eighth lord, what can I tell about it? I have told some good things also about it. I'm I have to explain, right? So I'm doing the explanation. So please take the positives also, that the sixth house Saturn is good for this particular native. Jupiter and Sun in the 12th house might have given him foreign job. So all that is great. But the other part, see, every part in a human being's life is not always very beautifully poised. So there are some difficulties. So people, they are writing that why are you so negative? I'm not negative. I'm talking about the eighth house, the eighth lord, the dreaded eighth lord, and I have to tell what is happening here. So this is the difficulty of the horoscope. So whenever we see a placement of Mercury in the fifth with a weak disposition of Jupiter, please understand, we have only seen the D1 charts without understanding the dispositor theory. We need to understand the dispositor theory and the Bhavat Bhava principle completely to understand what actually the dispositor, where actually the dispositor is from the given placement. Like, for example, let us say this is the fifth house. The fifth lord is here. So we need to see where moon is posited. So what if moon itself is in Amavasya here? Yes, it is a tough position for the native. But what if moon is exalted? It's a good position, excellent position. So that this is the one which will actually give you an insight into whether medicines or whether remedies will work on the native or not. If the dispositor is well placed in the friendly houses in exaltation or in fifth or ninth from the planet, that is Jupiter is disposing the moon, and from that moon is now is exaltation in a friendly house. It's the 311. 311 is always a friendly sign. So you need to see all this. So let us go to another chart, which is also a live example. Okay, this is a live example of unexplained fertility issues, and the person has gone through extreme pain trying for having a child for many years. So let us go through this particular chart. So this is the D1 chart, okay. This is a live chart. Person is still going through the difficulties. Okay, and the person is been going through Mercury Dasha, which will be there till, let us say, 2030. Till 2030. So let me put that in the North Indian chart. You should understand why am I explaining this for all those astrological, astrology students and who are enthusiasts who want to study this subject and who want some real stuff. I don't do that, there is no gimmick here. Whatever is there, it's a serious subject. Why should I do any gimmick here? So okay, this is 11. People keep telling many things. That is a different issue altogether. But what is there is there. Then we have Venus, we have Mercury, 11, 12, 1, 2. 11, 12, 1, 2, right? Then we have Mars in 3, and 4 is empty, 5 is empty, 6 we have Ketu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes, Virgo. 7 is empty, 8 used to be written here, and we have a Saturn retrograde, and 9 and 10 are empty. Okay, now let us discuss this horoscope in detail. I am only talking about the D1 here. There is a D7. I can write the D7 if people want to know about the D7. Let me write it here, and I'll write only the South Indian chart. Or okay, I'll write both. D7 is very important because without that we are not supposed to understand the progeny. Hope this is focused. I will again check it out. People have to be conversant with the symbols, or else it is not an easy joke to simply decipher a chart. We have Rahu here. I don't have space there. This is Jupiter. So let me put the North Indian chart also. We have 1, 2. This is very clearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have Mercury here. 1, 2, 3. We have Venus and Ketu. And we have Sun and Rahu in the 9th house. Venus, Ketu. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have Mars in Cancer. We have Moon here in the Leo. And 6th house is empty. 7th house we have Saturn, which is anyway, I think it is retrograde. Yes. Yeah, Saturn is retrograde. And when we have Sun and then we have Jupiter in the 11th house. So I think this is visible. Oh yes, it is visible. So let us go in detail with this particular horoscope. See, the fifth lord. The fifth lord is Mercury. First of all, Mercury, being the fifth lord, is not enthusiastic. We call Mercury a dry planet. But luckily, there is Mars here. Mars wants to give, always wants to give. Okay, and then here we have Saturn retrograde, and it is aspecting Mercury. And what has happened to Mercury? The fifth lord has come to the fourth house. The fifth lord has come to the fourth house. And in the Bhava chart, see the degree is that Mercury is somewhere on this edge. It is somewhere here. And in the Bhava chart, Saturn moves into this edge. Let us say here it is. It is on the edge of Vrishchika Rashi, that is Scorpio. But there is aspect between Saturn and Mercury, and Saturn is also aspecting a part of the fifth house. Okay. So we can see that the fifth house is afflicted by a very strong Saturn. Now, we are today not only discussing about the Saturn, we are discussing about the eighth lord. Who is the eighth lord? Eighth lord is Mercury itself in this chart. So, now you are having a live example of the fifth lord being the eighth lord, being aspected by Saturn retrograde. Multiple times they have tried. By luck, they had also even conceived, but after I think after 5 or 6 months it got aborted, and after that till now conceiving has become a huge question mark, and it is unexplained infertility. They don't know what's happening there. So We can also see that in the D7 chart, we can see Mercury sitting in the ascendant, which is a good thing. Mercury sitting in the ascendant is a good thing, being the fifth lord, but also it is the eighth lord sitting in the ascendant. And who is in the fifth house? One, two, three, four, five. We have Moon. What a beautiful placement of Moon in the fifth house, fertile planet. So let us see what is Moon doing here. It is in the ascendant. So Moon is giving a chance. Mars is giving a chance. Okay, you can conceive, have a child. But Mercury itself is not in a happy position and it is giving a lot of trouble in this horoscope because of the direct influence of Saturn retrograde over Mercury, which is also the eighth lord. And we can also see the Lagnadipati itself is Saturn and it is retrograde. So, the Bhava Bala, the Shat Bala, the Sarvashtaka Varga, all these have to be taken, but I am only taking the D1 and the D7 charts now for explanation. So, if we consider the placement of Venus, which is for Andashaya, this is a female chart. So that means we have to see the ovaries and the health of the ovaries. The ovaries are good, but there is something which is happening in the horoscope which is not allowing, and that is this fellow Mercury Dasha, which has been running, from 2013, and it will be there till 2030, 17 years. The desperation and the difficulty, you should understand, the person is going through. And the remedial measures for this is when Moon is there, active, water therapy, swimming, become healthy, and you can actually come out of these problems. But stress has to be removed first. Excessive stress, excessive stress and anxiety, which can be easily seen because of these two positions, Moon, Jupiter, Rahu, and Ketu in the eighth. So the expectation and the stress related to this particular issue is very heavy on the native, and that is the one which is causing a lot of negativity. So the eighth lord in particular is very important for us to see where he is in the chart, what he is associated with. So I will come up with many more eighth lords positions in the chart, not only related to fertility. We will go for education, we will go for professional distress, we will go for transfers not happening, transfers unnecessarily happening. We will go for all problems of, let us say, visa, all these problems of, financial problems, loan problems, EMI problems. Let us come to all these things and see what is actually happening. Let us first understand what's happening, then we will understand how to tackle this. But in this case, health, stress, mentally and physically, if the person can become better, if she eats well, sleeps well, and does a good swimming and all. See, in this case, it is swimming because we have a strong moon placed in the lagna. Though it is the sixth lord, moon is very strong. I have seen the Shatbala, so it is strong in this chart. So the person can revive and come back with full strength. Natural conceiving can happen by God's grace. So, thank you very much for today's class.